No one dared to touch the Dragon King's son. In the highest chamber of the obsidian spire, carved from volcanic glass and lit by rivers of molten gold, the youngest heir of the ancient dragon bloodline lay motionless upon a bed of woven starlight silk. His scales, once rumored to shimmer like dawn over mountain snow, had dulled to a faint silver gray. His wings, delicate and half-grown, hung useless at his sides. For 12 long winters, the palace healers, flame sages, and storm callers had tried everything, ancient spells, forbidden runes, even bargains whispered into the abyss. Nothing worked. The child did not roar. He did not fly. He did not move. And the Dragon King, ruler of the Ember Realms, grew colder with each passing year. His grief hardened into silence. His silence hardened into stone. Servants walked on trembling feet. Nobles bowed without breathing. Hope was a word no one spoke aloud. Then came the human girl. Her name was Elara, and she arrived at the palace not as a hero, not as a mage, but as a maid. A small figure in a simple gray uniform, carrying nothing but a broom, a bucket, and eyes that refused to dim. Humans were rare in the Ember Realms. Fragile. Short-lived. Distrusted. Yet they were useful, and the Dragon King tolerated usefulness. Elara had grown up in a mountain village burned by rogue wyverns. She had seen destruction. She had seen fear. But she had also seen something else, mercy. A wounded dragon once spared her family when she brought it water instead of weapons. Since then, she believed that even the mightiest creatures could ache in ways no armor could hide. So when she heard whispers among the servants about the paralyzed prince, about the forbidden tower no one entered unless summoned, she did not feel fear. She felt curiosity, and something deeper. The first time Elara saw the Dragon King up close, her knees nearly failed her. He was vast beyond imagination, scales black as midnight lava, eyes burning like twin suns held captive behind ancient sorrow. His presence bent the air itself. "You are new," his voice rumbled, shaking dust from the vaulted ceilings. Elara bowed low. "Yes, your majesty." "Do your work. Speak little. Do not wander." His gaze lingered for a fraction too long, as if measuring the worth of a candle against a storm. She nodded and retreated. But as she cleaned the corridors outside the forbidden chamber, she heard it, soft. Not a roar. Not a cry. A faint, uneven breath. Days passed before she dared. The guards rotated at dusk, distracted by a change in watch. The heavy doors to the prince's chamber stood slightly ajar. Elara told herself she only meant to tidy the threshold. Instead, she stepped inside. The air was thick with incense and failed magic. And there he was, the Dragon King's child. Smaller than she expected. Not the monstrous beast of legends, but a young dragon no larger than a carriage horse. His silver scales were beautiful even in stillness. His golden eyes were open, staring at nothing. Not blind, just distant. Alone. Elara felt her chest tighten. "Hello," she whispered, fully aware that if the king found her there, she might not leave alive. The dragon's eyes shifted, barely, but they shifted toward her. No one had spoken to him like that before. Not as a patient. Not as a curse. Not as a symbol of royal failure. Just, hello. Elara moved closer, slowly, hands visible. "I'm Elara. I clean floors terribly, but I make excellent stew." Silence. She smiled anyway. "You look tired of everyone trying to fix you." She sat on the floor beside his bed, ignoring the protocols etched into palace law. She talked about her village, about snow that glittered like crushed diamonds, about goats that thought they were royalty. She talked until her throat grew dry. The prince did not move. But his breathing changed, slightly deeper, slightly steadier. She noticed. And that was enough to return the next day. For weeks, she came in secret. She read old human stories. She described sunsets. She hummed lullabies her mother once sang. And one evening, when the torches burned low and the world outside the chamber slept, she did the unthinkable. She reached out and placed her hand against his foreleg. Warm. Solid. Real. "You're not broken," she whispered. "You're just waiting." Slowly, carefully, with a strength born not of muscle but of stubborn compassion, she slid her arms beneath him. He was heavier than she imagined, yet she gritted her teeth and lifted. Just enough to shift his weight. Just enough to change his view from ceiling to window. The moment his gaze met the night sky, something flickered. A tremor, small, almost invisible, ran through his wing. Ilara gasped. "That's it. That's it," she breathed, tears filling her eyes. She held him steady, whispering encouragement like one might to a frightened child learning to walk. The tremor came again. Stronger. The door behind her exploded inward. Guards flooded the chamber, and behind them came the Dragon King, fury incarnate. "What have you done?" His roar cracked the stone pillars. Ilara froze but did not drop the prince. "I moved him," she said, voice shaking yet unbroken. "He wanted to see the sky." The king's eyes blazed brighter than molten iron. "He cannot move." As if summoned by defiance itself, the young dragon's wing twitched again, this time lifting a full inch. Silence swallowed the chamber. The guards stepped back. The king stared, disbelief warring with hope he had buried long ago. Again, Ilara whispered to the prince. "Show him." The child's claws scraped against silk. His neck strained. And with a ragged, fragile sound that was neither roar nor cry but something in between, he shifted in her arms. The Dragon King staggered as though struck. 12 years of magic had failed. 12 years of power had accomplished nothing. And a human maid, armed with stories and stubborn kindness, had done what sorcerers could not. The king lowered his massive head, bringing one blazing eye level with Ilara. "How?" he demanded, though the fury in his voice had cracked. Ilara swallowed. "You tried to fix him." "I just saw him." The words pierced deeper than any blade. The Dragon King looked at his son, not as a broken heir, not as a failed prophecy, but as a child staring at the sky for the first time. Guilt, sharp and merciless, coiled around his ancient heart. In his desperation to restore strength, he had forgotten tenderness. In his fear of losing legacy, he had lost connection. Slowly, carefully, he extended one colossal claw and supported his son's back. Together, Dragon King and Human Maid, they held the trembling prince upright as moonlight bathed silver scales in quiet glory. That night, the Ember Realms changed. Not because a prince was suddenly healed, he was not. His movements were small, fragile, uncertain. But they were real. And hope, once buried beneath ash, breathed again. The Dragon King did something no ruler had seen him do in centuries. He bowed his head, not in defeat, but in gratitude, to a human. "You will remain," he said softly. "Not as a maid. As his guardian." Ilara blinked through tears. "I'll stay," she replied. And from that day forward, the obsidian spire no longer echoed only with silence. It echoed with stories, laughter, and the slow, determined beats of wings relearning the sky. The Dragon King ruled still, but now he watched, listened, and knelt beside his son when progress faltered. Power had not saved his child. Humanity had. And in learning that, the mightiest dragon in existence became more than a king. He became a father. If this story moved you, if you believe strength is more than power and kindness can awaken even the fiercest hearts, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more unforgettable HFY stories where humanity shines brightest against impossible odds.